First and foremost, we center solidarity. Solidarity in social justice struggles. We seek to do things differently. We seek to approach the space in ways that are different, in ways that are new, in ways that leads to providing real and authentic support to frontline activists and organizations seeking to confront, seeking to change the circumstances in which they live, particularly in relation to being dehumanized. It's perhaps helpful to recognize that Act Ubumbano as an organization is very much still in its infancy stage. It's a new organization, but born out of the space of solidarity in social justice struggles. Having looked in, having been a player, having been a participant on the inside, and seeking to say, look, we've all been doing what we've been doing for so long as activists in the struggle. And yes, we may be shifting the needle, but we're also taking steps backwards. We've got to, as was mentioned recently, we've got to find ways to dwell in the space of alternatives, continuing to seek that impact. So effectively, my role in the organization is I serve as a board member responsible largely for the organization's governance. And in there is, in and of itself, is an area of contestation for what we seek to be as an organization who could potentially disrupt the space by doing things different, doing things new, but also needing to conform within a space, in a space where to do the work we do, we require funding. To be able to operate in South Africa and attract support, funding, and otherwise, we need to have certain status. Hence, Act Ubumbano having started out more as a loose formation to needing to have this formal organizational status, which is probably only about 2 years old at this stage. So I serve in governance, but even within the governance space, we try to see how can we not just be like any other board. How do we contribute to organizational strategy? How do we contribute to the direction of the organization in a meaningful way? So we pride ourselves on while trying to fulfill fiduciary responsibilities within governance, to also play a role bringing what we have, our own experiences, lived and otherwise, into the space that also transforms what governance can be in an NGO. So really it's that oversight over how the organization operates, financially, strategically, and as a board, we are, perhaps you could say, the custodians of that within the organization. But I'd like to think that far more important that we serve and provide the necessary support to the team who are working out there on the ground. We've been trying to shift the needle, trying to play a part in bringing about justice, and justice, we recognize that to really shift that needle requires people coming together, requires collective action, requires movements. And critical to movements is to be able to build a base from the bottom where the frontline activists are. So certainly the Solidarity Hub, one of its objectives would be to connect activists, to connect organizations involved in struggle, but to have a particular space for looking through a lens that seeks to be different, that seeks to be new. So not doing what we've always done, hoping to get greater results, but saying, look, let's use our imagination, let's be creative, let's find ways to have the impact without just doing the same things we've always done, shifting the needle a little bit. What would it take to shift that needle a lot? So I think the Solidarity Hub is very important for as a space for activists and activist organizations to come together, to engage in that, to learn, to listen and learn from each other, and then to go out there being challenged to go do things differently in our own spaces.